Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to speak about the topic pure virtual function. What is a pure virtual functions? It is like a virtual function but with a slight difference. We have to come to know what is the base class and what is the derived class. We know what is the base class and the class which is derived from the base class is an derived class. So here we are going to declare the functions in the base class as a virtual. We can see it in a brief. A pure virtual function or abstract function in C++ is a virtual function for which we can have an implementation, but we must override the function in the derived class. Otherwise, derived class will also become an abstract class. It is absolutely right. So, what is in a base class? What we are declaring the function. While declaring, we have to differentiate in the derived class. Otherwise, it will automatically assign this to an abstract class. So, what we are going to do, if we are this a pure virtual function, we declaring assigning 0. That is, whichever function we are calling as a virtual function, we are assigning that function equal to 0 in the declaration part. Now the characteristics of a virtual function. What are the characteristics? The function of the virtual function is empty because the base class is not defined. It is absolutely, that is what we are saying is we are assigning the virtual function as it is 0. So it is empty in the base class. It is not defined. A pure virtual function class cannot be directly used to create object independently. It is also known as an abstract class. Therefore, any class that possesses a pure virtual function does not have the ability to create an object. Here in virtual function, that is here in C++, whatever class we are going to create, we are going to call those declared functions inside that class variables and functions by using creating function. But in pure virtual function, we are not directly creating the object for calling the member variables or a functions. We cannot create the object in that class. A virtual function cannot perform any task. Basically, the derived class makes the function implementation, provides template. So here, like other functions, we cannot make use of function any task in that. So only derived class can be implemented here. For a virtual class to be useful to the programmers, they will have to use the derived class to redefine the pure virtual function so as to define it in the base class. Here, whatever we are doing in the derived class, we have to redefine what functions we are giving. Simple example. Abstract class test. We are using some data members. Pure virtual function, how we are going to give. Void show is a function. Void show in front of we are declaring virtual equal to 0. So this is a virtual function. Pure virtual function we are assigning to 0. There are some interesting facts. What are they? A class is abstract if it has at least one pure function. Test is an abstract class because it is function void show. So when we are going to say it is a pure virtual function means it should be at least one virtual function in the abstract class. Then it is this circumstances. So see here void show function is assigned to 0. This is illustrate the abstract class with a pure virtual function. So what we are doing here abstract class, we are declaring the member variables. We are using virtual void show equal to 0 and we are going to access the function integer x. So here what we are going to get, we are creating object for the class test. So test is the class name, we are creating the object. So here we cannot instantly create an object for that abstract class. So output will be forming an error, that is cannot declare variable t to the abstract class test because the following virtual functions are pure within test. Note virtual function test like this only we have to do and we cannot create them. That is we can call those functions by using the scope variables and we cannot create object in that. In other circumstance we can have pointers and references of abstract class type. So here one example by using the class pointers. So what we are going to do here is see normal base class we are declaring and we are declaring the virtual function as a void show, virtual void show function assigned to 0. Now again this is a derived class, so class derived from public class colon public base we are going to use. Here also we are going to implement in the derived class, we are going to implement the virtual function. So here also same void show is implemented, but here does not override because in base class we declared the void show function as a virtual. Here in derived class, so we can use here void show function as it is. Then cout we are going to display derived, and in void function we are going to create the pointer. So creating a pointer of type base pointing to an object of data type. So base is the base class, base pointer variable we are going to create bp equal to new derived. So now we are going to call the show function by using the pointer. So we created the pointer variable bp. Now we are pointing and showing the we are pointing the function virtual function show. Now you can now this automatically we can implement the derived class using this virtual function. Next, if we do not overwrite the pure virtual function in the derived class, then the derived class also becomes an abstract class. What they are saying, if we need not to override the virtual function derived class, and we can use becomes an abstract. If you are not overwriting, it becomes an abstract class. Here another example, same as it is last program. What are the changes made is, here what we are doing in before also same pure virtual function equal to 0. In derived class we are doing here what they are doing, creating object for the derived. This is impossible. We should not create object here itself. So if we create, what is going to happen, cannot declare variable t to the abstract derived, and only within we have to call using the scope variable. So here another is an abstract class in C++ can also be defined using the struct keyword. So using struct keyword we can use this virtual function. Here the difference between the normal virtual functions and the pure virtual function, we can see the differences. A virtual function is a member function in parent class that can be further defined in the child class also. That is, in base class and derived class, virtual function, member function can be used. But here in pure virtual function, a pure virtual function is a member function in parent class, and declaration is given in the parent class and defined in the child class only. So next point, the classes that contain virtual function are not abstract. So virtual function is not abstract, but pure virtual function are abstract classes. In child classes, they may or may not redefine the virtual function, but here we can redefine the virtual function. And here instantiation can be done from the parent class with the virtual function. Here instantiation cannot be done. Then in virtual function, definition of virtual function is provided in parent class, but here it is not provided in the parent class.